Good morning, everybody. It's your boy D Max. So let's talk. Um, go ahead and address the congregation this morning. I know it's been probably a couple of days now, and you've seen the change of the title. So it's no longer D Mac. Let's talk. It's D Mac, Uneducated Scholars. And if you're familiar with wordplay, then you kind of understand where I'm going with the concept of uneducated scholars. Um, my background is very, very varied. There's a variety of things that I've done in my past. It gives me a whole bunch of different perspectives and views, and I can't just be a one-dimensional person and holding myself to just being able to speak on one specific topic is kind of hindering what I want to do and my vision for the show. So I had to change the name. Um, it was a name that was connected to something that pretty much got me on. So I want to give a salute to Big J. Big J is the one who put me on in doing shows and stuff. And she kind of showed me the ropes and gave me a lot of good information and stuff like that. So salute Big J, man. Um, and the route that I'm going with my show now is pretty much the same, but I'm going to just be delving into a lot more of the psychological side of things, mental health side of things, and just the overall unjust side of things, all the way across the board, no matter what the subject is. If it's sports and it's injustice and it's crazy, then I'm going to talk about it. If it's anything, if it's the workforce, if it's school, if it's whatever auxiliary or facet it is, and my spirit picks up on the story and pushes me and motivates me towards it, then that's what I'm gonna do. And so the story that I'm going to address today is how social media requires a lot of you once you get monetized. In order for you to get monetized, you're going to have to make a choice. And that choice is, do I want to be free to say my views and my opinion and say certain things? Or do I want to walk on cyber eggshells and be afraid to say something or show something for the fact that I'll be demonetized for doing so? Um, I see that quite often with pages that are starting to pick up volume, and it started to stand out to me as as they started to grow. And I noticed this. I sat back and I noticed the growth of these guys, and I definitely am in their corner, always supporting. But I also noticed things began to change as far as their attitude towards things, and um it was just for monetization's sake. After a while, once monetization becomes a factor, that changes the whole ball game for a lot of people. And you have to be willing to give up certain freedoms in order to receive that monetary compensation from these platforms. And so you have to make a choice. And I had to make a choice, man. And I said to myself, what is more valuable? Um, a few $100s for hours of my time and other people's time and our thoughts, and really putting ourselves out here to be ridiculed and to be critiqued and things like that. Is that really worth a couple $100s that I would get from my videos? Or what's more valuable, the comfort and the security of knowing that you don't have that hanging over your head. And so you can say whatever you want to say. And if they do copyright claim, or if they do any type of thing that would normally demonetize a video, you don't have to worry about it because you're not even monetized anyway. So that's one form of leverage that they don't have over you. And I made a decision, man, and I made that decision to be that money isn't what I came on here for. I started on here just as somebody who appreciated an open dialogue and an open forum to be able to speak. That was my whole purpose in getting started. And when I came on to Big J's show, and we talked and we clicked and we started to have some pretty good chemistry on what we're doing. You know, he's a great dude, man. He gave me a whole lot of wisdom. He gave me a whole lot of knowledge and understanding of this game and he didn't charge me anything for it. So that's why I say, man, I have to always give respect due to Big J, man, because he definitely looked out and got me started in this game. So, but in my heart and in my mind, man, it's really not about the money. It's really not about any type of notoriety, man. It's all about being able to bring a perspective that people otherwise wouldn't see, and not to say that I'm some great scholar or thinker, but in my own right, I have done a lot and experienced a lot to be able to speak in the areas that I speak on with a certain amount of authority because of my experience in those areas. Now, if I don't know area, or I'm not familiar with the area, or I haven't done anything in that area, then I'm not going to be too quick to speak on something. And I'm not going to make it seem like I know if anything. I will let you know, hey, I don't know. I'm going to have to check up on that. I have the integrity to do so, and I will at any given time because, like I said, people like us, we put ourselves out here whenever we do these shows and whenever we get on here and we share our most intimate thoughts on our, that we sit down and have with ourselves or whatever, or with other people that are close to us. We're broadcasting this to the whole world. So this is like me standing up in front of a crowd of people out in the middle of Times Square and just saying everything that I'm saying to you guys when I get on here every day. I'm leaving myself open for anybody to say anything, for anybody to criticize, ridicule, for anybody to try to bully or try to troll. All of these things take place. And, as much as people like to say they have thick skin, sometimes people will say something, and it's not the fact of what they say; it's just the fact that they feel motivated to be so hateful and to be so um, just evil in a lot of cases. So you subject yourself to that. Um, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of smarts. It takes a lot of research, a lot of time. It takes a lot of cognitive thinking. It takes a lot of reasoning. It takes a lot of pondering. All of these things that people really don't see as strenuous things, but if you were to do it at the level that we do it at on a regular basis, you would be mentally stressed and you would be mentally drained as well. So I give a hats off to everybody who's out here doing this YouTube thing, all of the content providers. I understand what it takes to make your show what it is, and you guys are really putting in a lot of work, way more work than I'm putting in at this moment because um, I really don't see the necessity for glamorizing and Hollywooding things up. That's my little term for it. I spoke about it on another show, and I was talking about how when people hit Hollywood, they'll always, if they're a big person, they want them to slim down and get skinny. If they're unkempt and like kind of scraggly and wild looking, they want to neaten them up and keep them well groomed and give them that in whatever fashion style or whatever like that. But oftentimes that takes away from the person's whole entire persona that brought attention to them in the first place and um, made them something that people wanted to see. So I really don't want to Hollywood up myself or Hollywood up like just doing all of the extra stuff that's just not necessary. When you have a focus and a drive and you have one purpose and one concern and you put everything into that, um all of the other little alluring things don't matter. You know, all of the little bells and whistles, all of the shiny things that grab people's attention, the marketing and the trying to sell your product and all. If you want to hear what I have to say, and if you take any value in what you heard me say in the past, and you value my opinion, and you're of like mind, then that's all it takes to want to listen to my show. Period. I'm not going to be jumping through hoops. I mean, it's not that I don't appreciate people but what I'm saying is I don't see the value in valueless things that are not going to edify and that are not going to inform. So me getting a haircut, putting on a suit and tie or a shirt and tie and some glasses and trying to present myself as something that I'm not is definitely going to take away from everything that I represent. And so that's going to take away from what I'm speaking on. And so I want to keep my sense of freedom on this site, and I don't care about monetization because I don't want them holding that over my head every time I get on there. And in the back of my mind, I'm not able to come forth with what I fully want to say because I'm so worried about, oh, is this going to demonetize it? Oh, if I say this word, will it demonetize it? Oh, that's going to get me demonetized. And all of I don't want that. I don't want none of that. It's not worth it to me. To me, all right. I'm not saying to anybody else. I'm saying to me, D back, it is worth giving up monetization to be able to say and express what I want to say and express because it's never been about that for me. And so that's why I'm comfortable with the route that I'm going. And I want other people to be comfortable as well with that because, we've gotten to a place where, yeah, this is a good opportunity to make some pretty decent revenue. Couple $100. If you get enough viewers, you can make thousands. You can make a living off of this if you accumulate enough viewership and likes and things of that nature. But at what cost is that going to come? I look at a lot of these people who have those large numbers like that, and man, they look stressed out. They look so stressed out because they are now consumed. Their time is consumed. Their actions are consumed by what they're doing on social media. And I feel like that takes away from you as a person because you're no longer yourself. You become a slave to your craft now. And that's not success when you become a slave to your craft. Whenever you can get up every day and operate in your gift and be able to make a sustainable living off of what you're gifted in, that is not considered a job to you. And that is success. So I just don't want guys to get consumed in this social media stuff and allow it to change your integrity. I don't want it to change your heart, and I definitely don't want it to make your heart harden towards anybody. That's the last thing that we need. And we claim that we're on here using this as a way to bridge the gap and as a way to mend and heal wounds in our community, then we need to act as such. I'm not going to be an opposing force to anybody. I'm for the viewership. I'm not going to do none of that. But what I am going to do is speak truth that I see and bring forth questions and bring forth just different scenarios for us to ponder and think about so that we can associate these things with things that may be going on in our life and figure out an answer because I'm always going to be solution oriented. So you know, that's all I really have to say on that, man. Let's be careful on this social media thing and let's not be so willing to give up our rights and give up our true privileges just for social media's sake. This is your boy D Mac, man. Y'all know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.